Welcome back to the latest from FlyEaglesFly News, where every Eagles fan gets the most comprehensive look at the team's journey through the season. There's no shortage of drama and intrigue as we move deeper into these weeks, and one of the first things that always demands attention is the injury situation. Injuries have a way of shifting momentum in the NFL, and for the Eagles, the status of the offensive line has been a topic of serious concern. Lane Johnson and Jalen Carter remain sidelined, which is no surprise at this point, but the emergence of Fred Johnson on the injury report has added a layer of uncertainty. Fred, the backup right tackle, was limited in practice recently, and that has prompted the team to give significant reps to rookie Cam Williams. This move alone highlights just how much pressure could fall on the right side of the line in the coming matchups. The Eagles could find themselves facing critical tests, especially against elite pass rushers. And having to rely on a third-string option at such a pivotal position makes every snap feel even more significant. Fans are holding their breath as the coaching staff works to keep the unit cohesive, hoping that depth and preparation will compensate for these absences. Shifting from the trenches to the sidelines, Kevin Patullo's potential rise in the coaching ranks has caught attention as well. Rumors about him possibly interviewing for a head coaching position elsewhere underscore just how quickly the NFL coaching carousel can spin. Patullo's offensive mind has drawn interest, and while the Eagles' offense has had its ups and downs, it's clear that his leadership has not gone unnoticed. The thought of him leaving presents questions about continuity and the evolution of the team's offensive philosophy, but for the moment, the focus remains firmly on the field, on the players executing each week, and on the challenges they face against formidable opponents. Coaching transitions are part of the league's rhythm, and how the team adapts in response can be as impactful as the individual matchups on game day now. Looking at the defensive front, Jordan Davis has emerged as a true force for Philadelphia. His development into a key figure is reminiscent of the transition from Brandon Graham's prime to a new era of leadership on the defensive line. Davis brings more than just skill. He embodies energy, discipline, and the kind of leadership that elevates those around him. Watching his progression, it's evident that he's not just focused on individual performance, but on how he can influence the entire defense. Whether it's reading the offensive line, creating pressure against quarterbacks, or closing gaps against the run, his approach shows a level of maturity that is rare for a player so early in his career. Coaches and teammates alike respond to his presence because he sets the tone both on the field and in the locker room. He's the kind of player who not only executes plays but inspires confidence. And that influence is multiplying as younger players observe and emulate his work ethic. Leadership on the field is mirrored by leadership off it, and Davis has shown he can command respect with his words as well as his actions. He frequently speaks about the importance of culture, effort, and accountability, and these aren't empty statements. His commitment to detail and to uplifting teammates reflects a mentality that the Eagles want to cultivate across the roster, even with key players absent. He maintains a high level of play, proving that he can be counted on in high-pressure situations. This balance of talent and leadership positions him as a cornerstone for the defense moving forward. It's rare to see a player develop into such a pivotal role so organically, but Davis is demonstrating that he's capable of carrying the energy and toughness that a team like the Eagles relies on to succeed week after week. The team's resilience has been tested recently with a 3-game skid that raised questions about consistency and the ability to avoid repeating past patterns. In these moments, leadership extends beyond the players, and comments from team ownership have offered a steadying perspective. The message from the top emphasizes that while challenges exist, the team's core strength remains intact. Defense continues to anchor the squad, special teams perform reliably, and the offense, while struggling at times, has the tools to find rhythm and efficiency. Turnovers have been an issue, but the underlying talent and organization are present to overcome those short-term setbacks. This balanced perspective allows the team to navigate adversity without overreacting, keeping focus on long-term goals rather than letting temporary struggles define the narrative. On the field, execution in crucial moments can make or break outcomes. The Eagles' play calling has drawn scrutiny, especially decisions to pass in situations where the run was proving effective, yet there have been flashes of strategic brilliance, with well-timed routes and coordinated plays that highlight the roster's versatility. Small adjustments in communication, timing, and positioning have allowed the team to maximize opportunities and minimize pressure, demonstrating that despite setbacks, The foundation for high-level performance is there. Observers can see the difference when preparation meets execution. And these micro moments often determine whether the team is in control of a game or forced to scramble for momentum. One of the most fascinating aspects of this season is watching the transition between veteran leadership and emerging stars. Brandon Graham's influence remains significant, guiding younger players and providing situational insight. While Davis continues to establish himself as a defining presence, his growth underscores the value of combining skill, discipline, and leadership in shaping a cohesive defensive unit. Davis' ability to adapt to coaching feedback, maintain focus, and improve consistently distinguishes him from players who plateau after initial success. He embodies the future of the Eagles' defense, bringing intensity, accountability, and a mentality that ensures the team can sustain performance across seasons. His emergence illustrates the broader narrative of resilience and development that is playing out within the team. As the season progresses, injuries and roster adjustments continue to test the Eagles' depth. Lane Johnson's absence and Fred Johnson's limitations put added responsibility on both the coaching staff and players like Cam Williams, who are gaining invaluable experience. The right tackle position is under a microscope, and how the team responds to adversity will reveal which players are capable of stepping up. At the same time, the special teams units maintain consistency, providing stability when the offense faces challenges and underscoring the importance of discipline and execution across all phases of the game. Every practice and every snap is contributing to a larger story of growth, adaptation, and preparation for the high-stakes moments that lie ahead. Meanwhile, the defense is gradually asserting itself as a cornerstone of this team's identity. Jordan Davis' influence on and off the field creates a ripple effect, motivating young linemen and linebackers to elevate their own performance. His ability to maintain focus, execute with precision, and command respect has already begun to define the defensive culture. The attention to detail and commitment to excellence is setting a new standard, and the confidence this breeds throughout the roster is invaluable. With key matchups approaching against formidable opponents, the Eagles' ability to sustain pressure, limit mistakes, and capitalize on opportunities will hinge on leadership, discipline, and the emerging synergy between veterans and rising stars. Every adjustment, every strategic choice, and every demonstration of accountability shapes not only the outcome of a single game, but the trajectory of the team's season. The interplay between offensive and defensive developments is critical. Even as the offense works to find its rhythm, moments of promise suggest that players are learning to operate within the system more effectively. Flashes of connection, precise routes, and strategic play calling reveal a team gradually aligning talent with execution. Players like A.J. Brown are showing glimpses of the potential impact they can have when timing and positioning come together. Even when errors occur, there's an underlying sense of growth and adaptation. With the coaching staff adjusting schemes to leverage strengths and compensate for mistakes, these adjustments, while subtle, reinforce a culture of preparation and accountability that permeates the entire squad. As we continue to track the progression of this Eagles squad, the narrative increasingly centers on the blend of experience and emerging talent that defines the team's character. On the defensive line, Jordan Davis continues to establish himself as a central figure, demonstrating not only his physical abilities, but also a level of football intelligence that is rare for a player at this stage of his career. His capacity to read offensive schemes, adjust to blockers, and anticipate plays has already begun to influence the way the entire defense operates. Young players around him are responding to his example, taking cues on effort, positioning, and mental preparation. Davis' presence allows the coaching staff to implement more aggressive strategies, knowing that someone on the line can take command, make critical reads, and provide leadership under pressure. The ripple effect of his development is evident across the roster, and it highlights just how impactful a single player can be when talent and leadership converge. Meanwhile, the offense remains a work in progress, navigating both the challenges of injuries and the learning curve inherent in a system that demands precision. Lane Johnson's absence on the line continues to test depth, and Fred Johnson's limitations have further amplified the importance of rotational players like Cam Williams. The young tackle's opportunities are crucial, as each snap in practice and game situations provides lessons that cannot be replicated elsewhere. The coaching staff has been deliberate in integrating these players, balancing the need for immediate performance with long-term development. Quarterback protection and consistent offensive execution remain central priorities. and how the line adapts to adversity will have significant implications for the team's ability to sustain drives and control the pace of games, even in difficult circumstances. Moments of efficiency on the line reveal the potential for cohesion as players gain experience and confidence beyond the offensive front. The skill positions are evolving in harmony with the overall team identity. A.J. Brown, along with other receivers, continues to refine timing, route execution, and situational awareness. The chemistry between quarterback and receivers is showing glimpses of synchronization, particularly when the offensive line can provide sufficient protection. When these components align, the Eagles' offense becomes dynamic, capable of sustaining drives and creating explosive scoring opportunities. The coaching staff's adjustments are methodical, incorporating feedback from each game and practice to identify patterns, optimize matchups, and adjust strategies. The learning curve is ongoing, but there's a tangible sense that players are absorbing the lessons, adapting, and growing in their understanding of how to operate effectively within the system. These incremental improvements, while subtle, are the backbone of long-term success. On the defensive side, the continued development of young talent ensures that the unit remains versatile and adaptive. Davis' emergence has been a catalyst, inspiring younger linemen and linebackers to elevate their play. The secondary is benefiting from this culture of accountability as well, with players recognizing the importance of execution and communication at every level. When the defensive front applies consistent pressure, it allows the secondary to operate with more confidence, knowing that opponents have fewer options and are more likely to make mistakes under duress. This cascading effect illustrates the interconnectivity of a well-coached, disciplined unit. As the Eagles face increasingly competitive matchups, the ability of the defense to maintain this synergy will be crucial in determining the outcome of key games. Veteran leadership remains an essential component of team cohesion and identity. Brandon Graham continues to provide mentorship, bridging the gap between experienced perspectives and emerging talent. His insight into situational awareness, play recognition, and professional conduct helps younger players navigate the complexities of the NFL game. Even as his on-field role transitions, Graham's influence persists, reinforcing standards of preparation, consistency, and accountability. This combination of emerging stars like Davis and seasoned veterans creates a culture where performance is expected, leadership is modeled, and success is a collective endeavor rather than an individual pursuit. It's a dynamic that not only supports immediate competitiveness, but also lays the foundation for sustained achievement over multiple seasons. FlyEaglesFly News family, smash subscribe and hit like. Your support keeps the freshest Philadelphia Eagles updates flying in. Drop your take in the comments and let's talk birds. Whispers are turning into a roar in the NFL world as the Eagles reportedly make waves in the transfer market. According to the latest buzz circling through sports media, the franchise could be on the verge of one of the most audacious moves in recent memory. Insider chatter suggests that none other than Dak Prescott and Terry McLaurin are potentially heading to the city of brotherly love, sending shockwaves through fans and pundits alike. Sources hint that discussions have been underway behind closed doors, with executives and agents working tirelessly to bring these high-caliber talents together. Prescott, long admired for his poise and ability to orchestrate an offense with surgical precision, would instantly elevate the Eagles' quarterback position, giving the team an undeniable strategic advantage. Meanwhile, McLaurin's explosive playmaking and knack for finding openings in even the tightest coverage could transform the team's receiving cores overnight. The combination, insiders suggest, could form a dynamic that rivals any duo currently in the league. Although the Eagles have yet to release a formal statement, the chatter is enough to get social media abuzz. Analysts are already speculating about how the team's offensive schemes might adapt, pondering everything from spread formations to deep threat options that would exploit Prescott's accuracy and McLaurin's speed. Fans, of course, are in a frenzy, dissecting every possible lineup change, imagining highlight reels where passes zip into McLaurin's hands for breathtaking touchdowns. Even veteran commentators on ESPN have reportedly hinted at the possibility of a major announcement, fueling the rumor mill further. The atmosphere is electric, with supporters and critics alike debating the long-term implications of such blockbuster signings. Will the Eagles be taking a calculated risk that propels them to the upper echelon of contenders? Or is this the kind of move that carries high stakes and high drama, whatever the outcome? One thing is certain, the NFL landscape could look very different if the whispers become reality, and Phillies faithful are holding their breath for confirmation. That's a wrap from FlyEaglesFly News. If you want the fastest Eagles updates, subscribe, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Sound off in the comments. Let's talk birds.